For most people, there is always time to do it twice, but there's never time to do it right. Not for a rancher engineer. I always say buy once, cry once. Total cost of ownership is a thing. If you have to constantly fiddle and mess with something or repair it, all that time adds up and it makes your cheap option a super expensive one. My name's John, I'm a regenerative rancher and I'm an engineer, and this is why I think RunChicken makes the best automatic coop door on the market today. The turkeys got out. These little buggers, these shouldn't be out. They should, come here, bird. These things, these turkey poults, for Thanksgiving, they should be inside of their enclosure that I spent all that time putting the fence on, and it doesn't work. What happened? This is a farm failure. Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. They got out through there. Okay, finally caught him. I can go back to my metaphor. Like I said, nothing goes to waste on a farm. This will be used for turkey bedding, and they can peck around in it and get some seeds. And it also makes me sneeze. So I guess, all those things considered, it's a pretty good deal. First the turkeys got at, now I come over to the chickens to talk about the chicken door, the actual purpose of this video. And this fancy water feeder, or waterer that I bought, because it's a heated water heater from Premier One. It's got the plug right there to plug it into heat. My son told me last night that the metal nipple is missing out of that, which means the water just pours out of it. Just evidence again that things break all the time. Now, luckily Premier One has it so that I can just order parts and fix that. But in the meantime, we're using an old school, just gravity water system. It's definitely not gonna freeze right now because it's late spring and we're starting to get warm weather, but it just, the point goes on. But it drives home my metaphor. There is always something breaking. There is always something going wrong on a homestead, ranch, farm, whatever you wanna call it. And if we don't spend our money the right time, like what I said in the beginning about buy once, cry once, what winds up happening is we just keep spending the same money over and over and over again. The more complex your operation gets, the more animals you have, the more buildings you have, the more whatever you have, the more stuff you have. Even the high quality stuff that breaks infrequently, when you add those things up enough, you still have stuff breaking all the time. So long story short, buy quality and buy once. There you have it. Now, let's talk about chicken doors. This chicken door is actually our third iteration of trying to seal up the chickens safely at night. This is the RunChicken Eternal BT. And before I forget, I should mention, we bought this door with our own money. This wasn't like a product sponsorship or placement or anything like that. We do like it a lot. Like I said, this is our third option and I think it's the best. I did create an affiliate link for this where you get 15% off. If you like us, if you like the video, and then you want to save some money on a chicken door, I would highly recommend using that affiliate link. I'll put it down in the description and all you have to do is click on it. I think it gives you a coupon code and you're good to go. Anywho, this we bought with our own money. And the first version of what we did with the chicken door on our coop was to, I don't even know if this bends anymore, was to fold up this ramp, which honestly works really, really well. When the ramp folds up, this chicken coop, see if I can move the camera around so you can see it. This chicken coop sits up off the ground. So when we fold that ramp up, it's kind of like rolling up a moat around a castle. We get a lot of raccoons around here. Raccoons and minks tend to be our standard chicken predators. So when that goes up and covers that entrance, the rest of this thing is like Fort Knox. Those animals, they can try to climb, they can do whatever. There's no way that they're getting into this chicken coop. So, design of the chicken coop, getting it off the ground is kind of a good first step in predator protection. We've got that covered. But having to come out every single night to put the chickens to bed was really exciting, like the first dozen times you do it, especially chickens were our first livestock. We're like, this is great, this is so cute, this is awesome. And then it gets cold. And then you don't feel like putting on your boots. So you'll wear your Crocs that you wear in the house outside to go close up the chickens. And it's dark and you step in chicken crap because it's all over the place. And chicken crap is like 3M should take it and dissect it and like do some type of like chemistry on it or whatever, because I'm pretty sure it's made of some adhesive that is like not known to man. That stuff is really hard to get off of things, especially those little ridges on the bottom of Crocs. Drives me nuts. Anyway, so gets all over your house shoes. It's not great when it's cold outside and it gets dark at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Ohio. You don't want to go outside in the driving wind to close up chickens. I've said enough about that. You can get it. Like, humans are lazy. It's okay to be lazy. I want to sit inside next to the fire with a cup of coffee, or I want to keep my house shoes clean. I don't want to come out and close up chickens. But I like having the chickens. They give us eggs, and eggs are like $500 a dozen or something like that nowadays. I haven't priced them in a while, so I don't know. So anyway, I got sidetracked. This is our third version of the chicken door. The first version that we had was a kind that had a pull-up rope on it. That's the best thing that I can, or the best way that I can describe it. Chicken guard was the name of it. Over-engineered, and I don't like that pull-up guard. There were little brackets, I guess, at the bottom of the door that when the door would come down, the brackets were supposed to, when the tension of the line would let go, the brackets were supposed to, under spring pressure, come out and grab the bottom of the frame and lock the door and keep the predators out. That worked for about 6 months. And then freeze-thaw cycles happened, degradation from UV light happened, a whole bunch of things happened, and whatever that spring system inside of the door was just started to fail. The door looked like it was closed. It was closed, but it would not be locked. And we lost 7 chickens to a mink that figured out that door was able to be lifted up because it wasn't locked. From an engineering standpoint, this thing is awesome. It is by far the best design I've seen. See those holes? Those holes are magic. So those are holes that are laser cut, I'm assuming, into that metal door. And there is a drive gear inside of that black housing that meshes into those holes in the metal door and makes this thing go up and down. That is genius because it allows for a lot of drive torque and a lot of control, so there's no slack. You're not relying on a string to transmit your torque, or gravity to bring your door down. You're relying on an actual mechanical drive system. And in the engineering world of what I do, we would call that a rack and pinion, or something close to a rack and pinion. And that is a heck of a way to drive something. So I like that. That is awesome. I should say there's also overload control, so you don't guillotine your chicken in half. That's not awesome. So with that rigid drive system, you can get torque feedback or force feedback, which allows you to integrate some safety features, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take off this drive system. This is where you would change the batteries. It is solar powered, but or I should say it's solar rechargeable. This is how you change the batteries. Let's take this out. This is what's inside. That came off really easily. You can see this drive gear right here. See that? I'm not sure. I try to get good light when I'm out here, but oh, when you're filming outside, it's not always the best light. You can see that drive gear right there. That is a nice, super tough plastic, probably nylon impregnated drive gear, and that is what meshes in the holes in the door. That's not going anywhere. That's your rechargeable batteries right there that you can change out. Good name brand battery from the factory, which is cool. And then you've got your motor. So like when this thing's locked, you know, it takes a lot of torque to move that. So it's easy to change batteries. I like that drive system. It's just so freaking simple. That's really, really good stuff. The solar panels, you know, right here. And we've got our coop facing roughly to the south. So we get a lot of solar energy. So I really don't have to worry about that. Okay, that's back on and that's it. And when it's up, I can move it around a little bit with my hand. You can hear the motor, but it's got a good drive interface on that and good torque. I really, really like the design. It's just, somebody was really thinking when they made this. Somebody who has a good understanding of mechatronics and physics. It's good stuff. Quick funny note though, the outline silhouette above where it says RunChicken, when we first got this thing, I'm like, oh, that's a silhouette of a running chicken, how cool. And then I looked really closely at it, and I'm like, oh, that's a really funny looking chicken. Yeah, the product is made in Slovenia, and that's the outline of Slovenia. So yay for them. I think they're like onto something because their country already looks like a chicken, so they're making a chicken door. Whatever. But yeah, it's not Chinesium, it's Slovenian. I would much rather have a Slovenian-made product than a Chinese-made product, which is pretty cool. Okay, the app. So the app works really well. You can automate it, you can open it and close it. So we're open right now. let's go ahead and close. That's the closing function, which works really nicely. It's nice and smooth, works every single time. And that bounce off the bottom, that is a bounce to allow for chickens that get caught in the door, or maybe chickens that aren't all the way through. So it bounces off the bottom, and then it closes, and it locks. So it's kind of like, I forget what they call it. It's some safety feature, but it's nice so you don't have chickens that get caught. All right, and then to open the door. And mind you, this all happens automatically while it's opening. You can see the settings here. We open at 8 a.m. and we close at sunset, which is kind of nice. So now the door is back open. We can also automate it. So tells you some options about that. But this would be when you've got the timer set for 8 a.m. You could do manual, you can do sunrise, closing option, kind of the same thing. Timer close manually. We do sunset. Our birds like to come in at sunset. And then closing delay, I believe that's 30 minutes after sunset, and that's that auto pinch mode. That's what I was talking about. Interesting also in icing mode, because Slovenia actually gets cold, they put in some provisioning for cold weather to try to work around that. So it's an awesome, awesome app, and it worked really well out of the box from a setup and configuration standpoint. They've got some nice FAQs here. I mean, it's just, this whole thing is a class act from an engineering standpoint. Their software engineering is good, their firmware engineering is good, and the mechanical engineering of the whole system is good. I mean, really, we've only had this thing for maybe 4 or 5 months now. It's been a great automation tool on the farm. I highly recommend it. It's also not that expensive. All things considered, compared to the other one we were using, the Chicken Guard, this thing is much less money. So one final note, and again, I'm an engineer, so I like to think of things in terms of systems. The entire point of having an automatic chicken coop door is to keep predators out and to keep our chickens safe, so we don't have to replace our chickens all the time because they're getting eaten by predators. If you think of the chicken protection system from an overall, system, we've got a couple different parts to it. We put up this electronet fence around our chicken area that not only keeps the chickens in, which makes the whole chicken ownership experience less annoying. Free-range chickens get old after a period of time because chickens don't know boundaries and they poop all over everything, which is disgusting. But it also is a first line of defense, like a moat around a castle to keep the predators out. So that's electrified, and it's electrified pretty strongly. I also keep really close eye on our barnyard at night. I look for eyes that shine that are not cats, and we have methods of dealing with unwanted predators on the farm when I see them. If you want to know more about how we built our chicken fence around here, I do have a video on that, which I'll put on the screen here and you can click on. I think this is a nifty way to keep everything neat and tidy on the farm and keep the chickens in. Also, don't forget the affiliate link for the RunChicken door. That's in the description. You get 15% off, and it helps us out on the farm here as well, just as another income stream for what we're doing around here. Lastly, and most importantly, God bless you and God bless your family. Thank you for watching. This is John Davis with Lachlan Highlands Farm. Happy chickening, and I'll see you soon.